What? No way. No way. This is crazy. No way, guys. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Don Alexandru, and in this video we're gonna take a look at Sony's internal stabilization system. So if you're familiar with the Sony FX9, you know this camera is a beast and it has tons of awesome features. And one of those features are the fact that this camera has dual native ISO from 800 to 4000. It has a full frame cinema sensor, which is a 6K sensor and downsamples it to 4K. And also it has a robust weather sealed body that allows you to shoot in all sorts of crazy conditions. It has a crazy fast autofocus. And besides all of those settings, it's the first camera to ever introduce variable ND on such a big sensor. And those variable NDs are super helpful on set because you eliminate all those time you lose when switching NDs in front of your lenses or things like that. So it's really fast to work with this camera when it comes to variable NDs. And also, you've seen cameras with NDs that have stops. Well, this camera doesn't have stops, so when you want to change exposure, it will change gradually. So this is really crazy. But one of the things that I really want to test out today, and it's not related to all the functions that I said previously, is the fact that this camera has an internal gyroscope that analyzes your movement when you film with the camera and transcodes that movement into the metadata of the camera. And with the recorded movement that you have inside the metadata, then you go into Sony's Catalyst software, and then you can stabilize the footage much better than you can with warp stabilization or different types of stabilization softwares. So this is a major breakthrough because Sony took the decision to not put a 5-axis stabilized sensor in this because it would have taken so much space, but instead they decided to put a gyroscope. And because of that, you can have your footage like shaky handheld footage. That is like a trend nowadays to film handheld and have this raw shaky footage. But if that footage is way too shaky and you want something more stable, then you can stabilize it later on in post-production, and it's gonna look so much better and so much more natural than how it looks on software that stabilizes the footage later on. So when you're filming with this camera and you really want to have your footage stabilized, Sony recommends you having Sony lenses on it. But I did a test and I realized that it can also work with Sigma lenses, but it has to be a prime lens because I noticed, and from my test I realized that it's not working with zoom lenses. So I really suggest going out a little bit and doing some tests with this camera, and make sure to stay until the end because at the end of the video we're gonna put this camera on a gimbal and we're gonna see how this stabilizing software deals with the camera being on the gimbal. And if this works, and if the footage turns out really smooth, I'm gonna be really impressed. And this is gonna change the game in so many domains, and especially for car shooting, because oftentimes when you film with the gimbal and you have your camera on it and the setup is pretty big, you tend to have those small jittery movements that you don't really like. And when you film with the car, you have a lot of motion blur, and normal stabilizing software cannot deal with that motion blur, so they will stabilize based on the car movement and it will look really odd. But with this, it doesn't have to take keyframes on the footage in order to stabilize because it's going to use the metadata inside, so it should work really good. But I'm really curious to see if the camera goes against the gimbal movement and it will not stabilize. So we're gonna have to find out, but be sure to stick in at the end of the video to see this. But until that, let's do a normal handheld shooting with this. I'm gonna try to run, I'm gonna try to do different type of stuff, and I'm really curious to see if it works. So guys, we managed to get outside to test out the stabilization function of the Sony FX9, and to do that we're gonna use the Sigma 20mm f1.4, and the reason we're using this lens it's because it's my only prime lens that I own. And for some reason, if I put zoom lenses that are not from Sony, the stabilization function will not work. So I suggest on trying to do a few tests with this and see how it works. Guys, so I managed to get some shots and I'm really curious to see how those turn out. And let's take out the card, put it on a laptop and see exactly how they look. So this Catalyst software is pretty cool. I actually started to use it just to scroll down my Sony footage whenever I go film something, because it's really fast and it really helps me out see all the footage that I got. So before going out, I was filming on the corridor here at the studio, and let's see how this footage looks after it's stabilized. So it's really simple. Once you hit stabilize, it will stabilize your footage immediately. So I press stabilize and it takes like 1 or 2 seconds. And then you just press play and you're gonna see the side-by-side comparison between what you shot and how it looks. And so far this is absolutely amazing. Oh my god, it looks like it's shot on a gimbal, guys. What the what? No way. No way. This is crazy. No way, guys. This is unreal. Just look at this footage, how shaky it is. I mean, it's not that shaky, but it's obviously, you can obviously see that it's handheld, right? Well, let's stabilize it. Let's go from the beginning. Guys, it looks like it's on a gimbal. No way. This changes everything, guys. This changes absolutely everything when it comes to filmmaking industry. Oh my god. Right, so this one, if the software stabilizes this one, I'm just gonna go out of here. Let's see. I'm so curious. So one thing that I saw is that this one got cropped a little bit more than the other ones. So let's see how it works. Bruh. No way. Are you seeing this, guys? This is absolutely crazy. What? It looks like it's on a gimbal. Yo, this is, I don't know what to say about this. I'm scared, man. I'm scared. So the technology on the camera is getting way too advanced, man. No way. How is this possible, man? This is crazy. Like, you don't even need a gimbal. We don't even have to try this on a gimbal, but we're gonna have to try it, because if the footage gets stabilized on a gimbal way better than how it stabilizes on a gimbal, it's gonna be epic. This is just my first reaction to the footage and I'm absolutely shocked. It's absolutely crazy. So let's see, I have one where he runs faster, do I? So look, I have this one on his feed. So I'm really curious to see how it stabilizes this. Let's see, really fast. This one is not even that cropped, because I was trying to go as smooth as possible. Yo guys, this is absolutely unbelievable. I'm like speechless. No way, man. No way. So I'm pretty sure if I do an edit and I tell you guys that this was shot on the gimbals, everybody will believe you, because this is way too stabilized. I mean, it's even more stabilized than a gimbal. So this is crazy. So let's put the camera on the gimbal and go outside again and see exactly how this performs, because I'm really curious. So I mounted the FX9 on the Ronin 1, and as you can see, it has enough room to work properly, and we managed to stabilize it pretty good. I don't want it to be as perfect stabilized because I want the gimbal to have a little bit of jittery and things like that, so we can see exactly if the internal stabilization can help us remove those unwanted vibrations. So let's put the battery on and let's go outside again. I'm really curious, to be honest. We didn't film too much, but I think it's enough. So first test, let's see exactly how it looks. So first test was going onto the corridor. It looks really stable because the Ronin one works good, but again, you can see a few parts where the camera is not perfectly stable and it's not that steadiness that you want. So obviously when you look at Hollywood films or things like that, they used RE Trinity, which is one of the most advanced camera stabilizer on this market right now, and with that one you are able to minimize the up and down movement as well. But with a normal gimbal you cannot really do that, and at some point you will see a little bit of up and down and some unnatural movements that you usually don't get with professional stabilizing systems. So this one is obviously really stable. I'm not gonna bother stabilizing it. I'm just gonna go to the one where I'm running. So I'm really curious how this one turned out, because I ran pretty fast. So I'm pretty sure when I stabilize it, it's gonna be absolutely crazy. So let's see. Honestly, it's not such a big difference. So it's not the same difference that you get when you watch the handheld footage and then the stabilized footage, but it's an improvement. It's an improvement. It's not like such a big difference, but it's actually pretty good. Like I'm impressed. Let's see one that maybe it's not so stable. Let's go to one where I ran even faster. So this one should be pretty good. Oh, this one you can clearly see it's much better. Wow. Yo, this one, at some point you can see the camera moving a little bit left to right and it eliminates completely that. So I'm pretty happy it works with gimbals. So this is amazing. So one reason to not worry about filming with gimbals and having shaky footage from this point on. I have one more. Let's see exactly how it looks. one thing that you should really know about the FX9 is that this camera is already really stable as it is. So for example, if I were to do a side-by-side comparison handheld with the Blackmagic Pocket 4K and the Sony FX9, you will clearly see that the Blackmagic Pocket 4K, it will be much more shaky than the Sony FX9, because the Sony FX9, since it's such a big camera, has a way much bigger or a way much faster sensor readout, and that allows the camera to not have jittery movements and rolling shutter effect and things like that that really make a camera feel more shaky. So that's why the FX9, it's already a really stable camera from the beginning, and when you put it on a gimbal, obviously it's going to be way more stable. But in this case, what I really like is the fact that if you're like me, a super perfectionist when it comes to camera movement, then if, let's say, you put the Sony FX9 on a slider or on a gimbal or things like that, and if you have a little small mistake, the software will eliminate those small mistakes. And this is absolutely amazing. For example, when you film with a slider, there are often times when the slider is a little bit not perfect and you have a little bit of shakiness and all that, and when you put it on this software, it will completely eliminate that shakiness. So I'm really happy it works with the gimbals, because this is like really cool. I really thought that the gimbal will like interference with the gyro stabilizer from the camera itself and all that. So I'm really happy it works, and also the autofocus with the Sigma lenses works really good. So this is another thing that I'm really happy about it. I also tested the Sigma 50-100. Even though it doesn't work with stabilization, the autofocus with that lens, it's absolutely amazing. It also works with 18-35, because even though it's a full frame sensor, when I put those lenses on, I don't have that big vignette on it like I have with other cameras. So this is really cool because I can still use my lenses with the Sony FX9. So this is pretty great. So guys, that was it for this video. I'm really impressed on how it went, and this software really amazed me. Actually, the camera really amazed me, because it keeps amazing me every day. Even though I use it a lot, I keep finding new things that really impresses me about it. And if you want to see more footage or more projects that I shot with the Sony FX9, be sure to subscribe and check out my latest videos. And also, I'm going to be doing an ISO test with the FX9, and I'm going to checking out the S Cinetone color profile, and I'm going to do also a autofocus test with Sigma lenses. So for that, you will have to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you will be alerted when I post new videos. And until that, don't forget to follow me also on Instagram, because I post a lot of stuff there. And until next time, peace, have a nice day, and keep on shooting. Woo!